Welcome to Real TV. I'm your host, Katherine Thompson, and today my guest is Stacy Barnhart, and she's a lieutenant with the Sea Cadets. Welcome, Stacy.
Thank you.
I see Tiger on your name badge.
Yes.
What does the Tiger stand for?
Well, I'm known as Lieutenant Barnhart, but I'm also known as Lieutenant Tiger. My father is the commanding officer of the division, and when he started the unit, he did not have a female officer, which you need if you have female cadets. So he said, why don't you come on down to drill? You don't have to do anything, you just have to be there. And I said, okay. Well, it got to be a habit of his that I was at drill, and my nickname from the time I've been a baby is Tiger. So when he wanted the cadets to do anything, go see Tiger, go see Tiger. Well, I finally decided that if I'm going to be here, I might as well join, I might as well be an officer, because I'm here anyway. And in order to not confuse the cadets, somebody got the brilliant idea, I was an ensign at the time, oh, we'll just call her Ensign Tiger, and it stuck. So now very few people know me by my real name. It's just Lieutenant Tiger.
Instead of Stacy.
Instead of Stacy or Lieutenant Barnhart. It's Lieutenant Tiger. Go see Tiger. Go see Tiger. So that's why I have it on my name tag.
Well, now I know during the summer for the past couple of years, I think 2 years to be exact, I've gone down Black River in my little boat and I've seen this huge gray ship. I mean, it looks like it's hundreds of feet long. Gray Fox, right?
Yes.
And I've wondered, I've seen people on it, and I've wondered, is it a tour boat? What is it? What exactly is the boat used for? And can you tell us a little bit about the Sea Cadet organization?
Sure. The boat right now is used as a training platform for not only Sea Cadets, but any other youth organization in the state who wishes to take advantage of her.
Now, it's huge. Where did it come from?
She originally came from Florida. She's 120 feet long, 25 foot wide, takes up about 7.5 feet of water underneath the water line. We, as a division, we're looking for a vessel to train cadets on. And through connections, we discovered this former torpedo recovery vessel down in Florida. She was used as a test target by Raytheon for torpedoes. They would fire their test torpedoes at the ship, collect their information from inside the torpedoes, and put them on the afterdeck, and that was that.
Wow.
Their contract ran out, and so they put this vessel into storage, and we discovered her in Florida, took a flight down, looked it over, said this will be perfect for training Sea Cadets, we want it. Had to go through a bunch of hoops, all the way up to Senator Abraham's office, Secretary of the Navy, and they finally decided that we were a worthwhile organization and to give us this vessel.
But she's a lot happier up here than having torpedoes shot at her down in Florida.
I don't know. She's had about 500 teenagers crawling all over her, so I'm not sure that that's a good thing to do.
This is something that I want to know. You just the boat's name is Gray Fox. You keep calling her she. What?
It's just a nautical term that most vessels are called she's. It came from the old days when the sailing captains had temperamental vessels on their hands, and they thought they acted more like women than they did men, and it's kind of stuck. So the Gray Fox is a she, just like most other vessels are too.
Well, what exactly are the Sea Cadets? What the organization? What do they do?
We're an organization of young people from 14 to 18. We're chartered by Congress and supported by the United States Navy. We're very similar to a junior ROTC program. Some of our goals or our outline is we want to teach young people patriotism, self-reliance, seamanship skills. Basically, we're a lot of things, but mostly we're here for young people, and if they want to learn more about our maritime history, which here in the Great Lakes we've got a huge one, then
well, how can they get involved in the Sea Cadets?
What I recommend is that you give my office a call, ask for me, and we invite you to come down to one of our drills to see exactly what we do.
Okay, I said drill. What's a drill?
Drill is basically a meeting. It takes place on the first and third Saturday of the month, either at the ship or Coast Guard station. And we invite people to come down and have a test run, so to speak. Meet the officers, meet the other cadets, see if it's something that they'd be interested in. And if it is, then we get them all the paperwork and have them sign on the dotted line and give them their uniforms, and they're good to go.
Now, sign on the dotted line. What type of commitment are they making? This isn't a commitment to join the service, the Navy, the Coast Guard?
You do not have to join any of the military after you're done with the Sea Cadets. The commitment is usually is a year long. We like to have you, that's why we invite you to drill, so that you can see that this is something that you want to do and you're not going to quit halfway through. And it's basically just paperwork and you signing a form saying, yes, I will be here at drill for a year.
Well, one of the things that I was surprised about when we were talking before is you were mentioning that the ship goes on cruises, and could you share who runs this 120-foot ship?
Actually, the Sea Cadets run the vessel.
And we are talking teenagers?
Teenagers, yes.
And what things are they doing?
Everything. We have cadets in the engine room. We have cadets in the galley, steering the course, plotting the course, working the lines. The only reason the adults are there is to give them direction on what they need to do to make sure that they don't hurt themselves or somebody else or property in the process.
Amazing.
But they actually run the ship.
What, do they have to take navigation classes? Or?
Yes, that's part of our drills, is we'll go over, okay, this is how you navigate, this is how you plot a course, this is what you need to do to handle lines, this is the knots that you have to tie to put her on the bollards, which are the big round posts that you see on the shore.
Right.
These are the knots you have to tie to throw a heaving line, which is a weighted ball with a small line on it attached to a larger line so that they can pull it into shore.
How about the steering? I have trouble driving my 16-foot boat. I can't imagine driving that big ship.
When a new cadet gets on the helm, which they rotate through the watch stations so that everybody...
Okay, now you're losing some people who are not nautical.
We have, when we're at sea, we have watch stations, which means that we have lookouts, one on the bow, which is the front, one on the stern, which is the back, and one on either side. They let the officers know, okay, I see a vessel on the starboard side coming towards us, just to let them know what's going on around them.
So the ship doesn't have radar?
Yes, she does have radar, but we have lookouts as well. It's just a double backup, just in case. They rotate through these stations so that when they're on watch, when we're underway, they'll maybe start at the aft lookout and then move to the port lookout, and then they'll go to the helm, and then the starboard lookout and forward lookout. And when a new cadet gets on the helm, a lot of times you see in the movies with this big wheel with the spokes out of it that you see like on pirate ships.
Yeah.
We have one of those.
Oh, no.
But in the movies you see them, they're just, hauling it over. You don't have to do that with the Gray Fox. She handles like a 30-foot cabin cruiser. And a lot of times it takes a little while to get used to that. So you can always tell when there's a new cadet on the helm because her wake will kind of zigzag and then straighten out. And then a new cadet comes on board and it zigzags again and straightens out. But everybody has their chance. If they can't see over the wheel, we have a milk crate that they stand on.
Oh, that's amazing.
So that they can see. And there's an officer, adult, on the bridge at all times to let them know, okay, you need to steer this course, you need to steer that course. And
Now, these cruises, you're underway during the day. I'm assuming you're not underway at night?
Not as of yet. We still have too many systems on board the ship that we need to get up and running. Since she was in dry dock for 2 years, a lot of the things aren't working properly. So far, we've only taken her out during the day and tied up at night. But this summer, we do plan on taking overnight cruises where we will go out into the lake, either go up to Mackinac or just go out in the lake for a whole weekend and come back.
Oh, that'll be fun for the kids. Then how many does that sleep?
Right now, she has a berthing capacity of 18 cadets and four officers. This summer, we are starting construction on an after house, which will extend, excuse me, which will extend her berthing capacity to almost 40 cadets. And that way we can train more, berth more, have more space for everybody to go.
How many cadets are in your unit?
Right now we've got about 25, and we are one of 9 in the state of Michigan. And there are Sea Cadet units all over the United States and all over the world.
Amazing. So you have 25, and how big a group would you say this could be? Is there a limit on the number you would take?
No, we have no limit on the number of cadets that we would like or would be able to take. Obviously, due to berthing capacity on the Gray Fox, we can't take the whole. If we were to grow to 50, we could not take the whole division out at this time.
But you could rotate.
But we can rotate them through, and you do have to qualify to be able to cruise. There
Laurie,
are certain things that you need to know, where all the fire extinguishers are, how to get out of the berthing compartment if there's smoke, which knots you need to tie, which lines you need to use. A lot of basic knowledge that you need to know before you can actually sail.
Now, are the cadets tested on this
Yes.
knowledge? So there is like a book, or do they?
Yes. We have a little cruise book that tells you what you need to know. They also have to take a written test, and then they have to show us, okay, yeah, I know how to tie this knot. I know how to tie this knot. And sign off. Once all their qualifications are signed off, they can cruise.
And then that happens once a summer,
When they
couple
first
times a
come
year?
in, we do that once they have their qualifications. And this year we're going to kind of just go over things briefly before we start to cruise again, just to make sure that nobody's forgotten anything or they haven't lost their skills. And we do have a bunch of new cadets who haven't taken the test yet, so we'll just give it to them at the same time.
Right. Now, you said you were going someplace this month?
Yes, actually the ship is taking off very early Saturday morning. She's going down to the Dawson Museum, which is on Belle Isle.
And what's the Dawson Museum?
Dawson is a maritime museum, which gives a lot of the history of boating here in the Great Lakes. We're going down there for a fundraising event, and we will overnight her at the Coast Guard Station in Detroit. And then Sunday morning we will head down to Hart Plaza and tie her up there for the Navy League and Sea Cadet Sunday services at Mariners Church, which everybody from around here knows the song with the Edmund Fitzgerald with the church bells rang 29 times. That's the church that we'll be going to. And it's just a
exciting for
service
them.
to show appreciation for the Sea Cadets and what we do. And then so once that's done, we'll have her open for tours down at Hart Plaza and then bring her on home.
Now, is she open for tours up here?
If you come down on a Saturday when we are there, we can let you on board to have a tour.
But it's not a standard. You're just
No,
doing
it's not a
the
standard. We just do it.
You're doing this as a fundraiser.
Right, right. September is National Sea Cadet Month, so during the month of September we will have open houses where we will open her to the public and invite people to come on down and take a tour of the ship. If we were to do that every drill, we would never be able to accomplish what we need to with the cadets and the maintenance we need to do on the ship.
Right.
So we limit it to maybe twice a summer, once in the spring and once again towards the end of the cruising season.
Now, you're talking about maintenance you have to do. Is there someone on board the ship all the time
Yes.
that takes care of the maintenance or is trying to catch?
Yes, we have a
that
craft
up?
master. He works during the day, and that is his job, is to maintain the systems, to repair. But a lot of the maintenance we do have the cadets do. We have a planned maintenance schedule, which are tasks that we need to accomplish once a month, once a quarter, every 6 months, annually, just depending on what it is. And sometimes it can be as simple as going around to make sure all the light bulbs are functioning. And if there's a burnout light bulb, you make a note of it and give it to the department head, which that happens to be my department.
Light
And
bulbs.
Light bulbs. and things like that, from overhauling the engines and doing oil changes and that type of thing. Just depends on what's scheduled and what needs to be done.
Now, are there other travel opportunities for the Sea Cadets besides just around Michigan?
Yes.
I thought there was a Sea Cadet exchange program.
Yes, there
Could
is.
you tell us about that?
The basic training for the Sea Cadets, the first training that you will go on is boot camp, and that's held over at Recruit Training Command in Great Lakes. That is where all the rest of the regular Navy recruits go through boot camp when they sign up for the Navy. It's an abbreviated 2-week boot camp, but you basically do the same things. You get up at 500 in the morning and you march to the chow hall and
so
do all
each
that
Sea
stuff.
Cadet has to go
You have to go through boot camp in order to advance. Once you're finished with boot camp, you can go on what we call advanced trainings, and the possibilities for that are endless. You can go on Navy ships, aircraft carriers, you can do music schools, you can do CB construction, airman schools. There's Coast Guard possibilities for shore stations and shipboard.
Is that still while they're in high school?
Yes, yes. What they do is they take 2 weeks out of the summer, and for example, the Bramble recently took 2 of our cadets during spring break, and what they would do is they came on board the Bramble. They worked for a week doing what the regular Coast Guard guys do, and gives them the advanced training. And any cruises we take on Gray Fox is advanced training as well. There are also exchange possibilities open. We have exchanges with Belgium, the United Kingdom, Japan, Bermuda, Canada, and those are the ones that I can recall right off the top of
It's
my
like a
head.
Sea Cadet foreign exchange program.
Yes, it's basically the same thing. You take 2 weeks, you will go, for example, I went to Bermuda in '91 as the escort officer for the exchange, and basically what we did was we did training with the Bermuda Sea Cadets. We had Canadian Sea Cadets there, British Sea Cadets, and just kind of all got together and did training, and we went sailing and scuba diving and all kinds of things like that. It was wonderful.
Well, it sounds also that the Sea Cadet program would not prohibit a young person from having a summer job.
No, no, not at all. You can even work during the year. We try to limit our drills to the 2 weekends a month so that the cadets can hold jobs, so that the officers can have time to themselves too, since we're all volunteers.
Right.
So this wouldn't prohibit anybody from working as long as you knew when your training was going to be. You could ask for the time off or schedule your work around cadets, which is, we have quite a few that do that.
Now you mentioned you're all volunteers, so
Yes.
this isn't a paid job for you?
No, this is not a paid job for me or any of the officers. Some of us do have military background, some of us don't.
Do you?
No, I don't have any military background, but I like working with young people, and I enjoy it, so I volunteer my time to do this.
Well, that's amazing. Great idea. Lots of commitment. Well, how many adults are working with this group?
Right now we have 4 officers and 4 instructors that are enrolled. We have a number of people who like to come every once in a while. We have a wonderful man. His name is Bob Kerr. He's with the Corps of Engineers, and the man is amazing with marlin spike and knots and lines. And when he has time in the winter, when he's not working on his tug, well, he'll come up and he'll do a marlin spike class. Teach us
It's not like tying your shoe.
No. And he'll come up and do that. So he's made a regular commitment to do that for us. And we have a number of other people who might not be able to give the commitment that I do, but they still want to be involved. So they'll say, well, okay, I'll come up and we'll do this drill or next drill or something like that. So there are a number of people involved besides myself and the rest of the officers.
Oh, that's great. Now, what kind of kid, young person, are you looking for in this Sea Cadet?
We don't have a whole lot of rules that we need to do with the Sea Cadets. They do have to be enrolled in school. We do ask that you get decent grades. And I can tell you from experience that the skipper of the ship and of our division is also my father. And when I was growing up, to him, a C was average and his children were not average. We realized that every child is not, was not like me and could get all A's and B's in school. But we ask you to try your best. And if you can say to me, Tiger, I busted my butt trying to get all this stuff done and I got a C, that's okay. But we do like you to get decent grades and bring us report cards and to let us know how you're doing in school. You have to be in reasonably good health, no allergies, asthma, or prescription medication is
this
national.
Like Ritalin?
Yes, Ritalin, but we can ask for waivers in certain circumstances, so don't think that that's going to disqualify you automatically.
Right.
Come and talk to me, and we'll see if there's something that we can't do. The annual cost to be a Sea Cadet is $40 a year, and that's the annual registration fee. And they do have to pay for any trainings that they go on, which is like if the Brambles, for example, they have to pay their own food bill on the Bramble.
Okay.
And to get them from here and there.
What about the trip this weekend?
The trip this weekend, we are allowed to charge $10 a day. So it would cost them $10 a day, and that's basically covers the cost of the food.
Obviously not gas.
No. We do have scholarships available for those cadets who might not be able to come up with that money. And if you show that you really want to be a part of our division and you're really interested, we won't turn you away. We'll
Well,
find
it sounds
the
like
money.
a wonderful opportunity, and it sounds like when we were discussing this before, you said many of the young cadets are coming from one-parent homes, single-parent households, and gives them an opportunity for what?
Basically, it gives them a chance to have positive role models in their life. I can name a couple of cadets, former ones that I still keep in contact with. Actually, one of them called me Tuesday night, one of them called me Wednesday. But these young people didn't have a direction in life. They didn't know what they wanted to do, and by being a part of the Sea Cadets, they kind of figured out, okay, this is what I'd like to do, and just to kind of not be a parent, but kind of be that wiser older sister who kind of knows what's going on in the world and can give them boyfriend advice or school advice or just what to do.
Now, did these young people you're talking about, did they go on in the service,
Yes,
or did they
actually,
go on?
the one, she is currently in the Navy as an OS-3 stationed out in San Diego. The other one is married to a machinist mate in the Navy who was both of them were former Sea Cadets. And
Well, it's great around here. We're surrounded by water, and it's beneficial to know how to operate a boat,
Oh, yes.
how to tie the different knots, how to live on the water, how to learn about our maritime history, because it's all over in
Oh, yes.
Michigan.
yes, it is. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to get the Gray Fox, is to show young people, you know, the wonderful asset that we do have living here in the Great Lakes. Gray Fox is the largest Sea Cadet training vessel in the United States. There is not one that is larger than she is.
In Port Huron.
We have a
Wonderful.
very precious asset here, and we want to open it up to as many people as possible.
Well, hopefully my talking to you will talk some of the other students that aren't involved in Sea Cadets to calling you, and maybe they can take part in it.
Sure,
some of
we'd
these
love to
drills.
have them come on down and see what it's all about, and if they're really interested, then we'll, you know.
Once
give
again,
them paper.
Stacy, what's that phone number?
The phone number is my office, which is Barnhart Marine Surveys, and the number is 984-2400. And when you call, just ask for Lieutenant Tiger or say you want some more information on the Sea Cadets, and we'll be happy to help you.
Great. I hope you have 50 to 100 new Sea Cadets
Well,
this summer.
I do too, but the paperwork would be kind of daunting, but I think I can find time to do that if we have that many of them.
Great. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
And from Real TV, this is Catherine Thompson saying, see you next time.
This has been a presentation of CPHS 6 in cooperation with Heron Community